This is the BG Climbers for the week ending 3/22/2023. This list is put together every week by Michael Alexander. I'll include links in the description below if you want to take a look at the list. So we're back after about a month hiatus. So I was on vacation, and then my kids were sick, and I just wasn't able to do this. But let's get back into it. So we'll start with number 10, Tiny Epic Vikings. So this looks like it showed up on the list probably a couple weeks ago. I think I saw it on there, maybe not in the top 10. This is the latest Tiny Epic game from Scott Almes. It doesn't seem to be starting out as strong as some of the previous ones. I really like the look of the Tiny Epic Max, even though it didn't get amazing reviews, I would say. This does have great art and really cool pieces. Like, I feel like most of these Tiny Epic games have really cool pieces, but for me, I think the tininess has kind of worn off. And I have a couple of the games, but I just personally don't look at really getting any more of them. Maybe in the future, if one like really caught my eye. I think Tiny Epic Pirates kind of looked pretty good. But I don't know. I think they're great if people really want portable games or have limited space. But other than that, I haven't really paid too much attention recently. And I mean, the reviews, I guess, are good, but not amazing for, other games. So number 10, Tiny Epic Vikings. Number 9, Revive. So this was a very popular game at BGG-Con. I played it once, and I thought it was good. It's actually kind of had a slow climb. It's only getting a few reviews every month, although it finally picked up. I think it got its US release, and that's maybe why. As far as the game, it's like a post-apocalyptic Euro. It doesn't really feel post-apocalyptic. I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know how else to put it. I think that there's maybe some flaws in the system, at least in my one playthrough that I noticed. One of it is the end of the game, I think, comes really quick. It's, you'll go from like feeling like you can't do anything. It is kind of an engine building game, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of other engine building games have this, maybe a slower turnover into the end of the game. This game, it feels like you go from like, oh, the game's got to be like 20 turns away to it ending in like 2 turns. And obviously in time you'd get a better feel for it. The ratings are staying fairly high on this game. Let's take a look at some of the comments. 6 times already. Interesting. So there's a campaign, and it could be maybe the campaign gameplay is, I don't know what these mean. Multiplayer solitaire game. Yeah, I mean, there is some of that. I mean, there's this central board, and I would agree the theme is not here. And maybe it plays best at 3, as it says on here. I don't know. But for me, I thought I was going to really like this game. Came out, and I thought it was okay, but not worth picking up. Although, obviously, a lot of people thought more highly of it than I did. Where is this going to end up? I mean, based on my own personal play of it, I don't think this is a top 100 game. Let's see, though. I mean, it's still at an 8.24 after 1,000 ratings, so I do think it's going to kind of come down a little bit from here. So number 9, Revive. Number 8, Banish the Snakes, a game of St. Patrick in Ireland. So obviously this was released around, or I'm assuming it was released around St. Patrick's Day, which is interesting. A solitaire or cooperative game in 5th century Ireland. So this is interesting. It's very bland. Area major, like the art's very bland. It almost looks like I don't know, like out of the 80s board game style, maybe 90s. So I don't know. I mean, clearly the ratings are not good, or not doing well for this game. Takes us 2.5 to 3 hours. Wow, so that's pretty substantial. Oh, it's GMT. That's why it looks like it's out of the 80s. I forget. So I guess it's from a war game company. which explains some stuff. So is this going to end up in the top 100? Almost certainly not. I mean, there's very few GMT games in the top 100 other than, I think, Dominant Species was on there, maybe the new Dominant Species, and a couple other original war games used to be on there. So number 8, Banish the Snakes. Number 7, 535 card game. So this is interesting. It's been getting very few ratings. It looks like maybe it was on Kickstarter, which I'm assuming, yep, Kickstarter Japan, is a climbing shedding game, which I guess is kind of like trick taking, I think. Yeah, trick taking. And 1, 2, or 3 cards with single central meld. So I think this is kind of like the, I mean, there's been this rise of trick taking games with Mission. I guess, what is the name of that? I can't remember. But anyway, the cooperative trick-taking game that I can't remember the name of. After that came out and the deep sea version of it came out, trick-taking games have taken off. I played the Schrodinger's Cat one. It was good. It wasn't like, let me go out and buy it. Although I think a lot of people did. I didn't feel like it was that great, but I'm not the biggest fan of trick-taking games. For my personal taste, I'm probably not going to like this one. Although I did, oh, the crew. So, I did like the crew. I think the crew is probably the one trick-taking game I can recommend. Although Arcs kind of has me interested in it. I didn't care for Fort that much, but maybe Arcs, we'll see. Will this game be in the top 100? Probably not. Trick-taking games rarely make it in the top 100, and it hasn't started out super, super strong. So number 7, 535. Number 6, Frosthaven. It needs no introduction. It's actually, I mean, it's doing extremely well. 3,000. This is going to be in the top 100 here pretty soon. Is it going to end up in the number 1 spot? I think it has a good chance. So the reasons for that are that anyone that didn't like Gloomhaven, which most people that have played board games have played Gloomhaven now, probably aren't even going to, try Frosthaven. So that eliminates a lot of people that would give it maybe a lower rating. And all the people who are going to go out and get this game loved Gloomhaven and really are probably going to like Frosthaven, which is just a improved Gloomhaven from what I can tell. For me, I thought Gloomhaven was a solid game. I won't ever play the full version of the game, though, in board game form. It goes back to the digital version, just was so much better and so much more fun, I felt like, that I'm really hoping they make a digital version of Frosthaven or add it as an I mean, I think they could probably do an add-on to the Gloomhaven version if they, created the game correctly. Number 6, Frosthaven. Number 5, Steam Up, Feast of Dim Sum. So this game I remember from Tim Chun. It was one of his most, I guess, excited games that he was for 2023. And from a presentation perspective, man, it looks amazing. Like, this game has little pieces of food that you put on the steaming pots, and I could see people really enjoying it just from the thematic perspective of that. It's a fairly lightweight game, so again, I think maybe a heavier theme game works better with lighter weight games because people are going to go out and look at the game and be like, oh, I want to play it, and it's not too complicated, so they're going to enjoy it for what it is. Is that going to make it a top 100 game? Probably not. Very rarely does something like this end up top 100 that's like a lighter weight version of the game. And this looks like it's a set collection, variable player powers, and variable setup. So I think we might see this for a few more weeks just because it, game is a visual and tactile delight. That is great. And it excellent choice to play with a 5 and 14-year-old. So that's great that you can play the game's light enough to play with the 5-year-old, but also engaging enough for a 14-year-old. I think that's great. A little uninteresting when it comes to decision space. Well, I think that's likely due to a lighter weight game. Slight imbalance among the characters, but it's fun, simple. Production value is incredible. Yeah, I think that exactly sums it up. If you wanted a lighter weight game to play with people that looks amazing, this fits that bill. So that is Steam Up. Bamboo, number 4. So this is interesting. So this is from Devere. And it started out with some pretty high ratings. So this is an upcoming release. Abstract strategy, fantasy, and farming. Harvesting bamboo has brought prosperity to your home. Work, perseverance, balance, and prayer have made a small town flourish. It's grown at the expense of the cane fields. Interesting. So this is a pretty... I like the artwork on it. I think it's a fun little game. I like the dual layer boards with... I don't even know what this mechanism is, but it looks cool with the things to slot in or maybe take from. I am kind of interested in seeing what this game looks like or how it plays. Let's see how the how heavy it is. So 2.7. That's not bad. I think a solid medium weight game. And I know like Devere's stuff has been pretty spot on. The price doesn't look too bad. I mean, this is a third-party seller, but 35 starting out with. That might be a interesting price point for a game like this. Let's see. So this is best at 3 players. Too fiddly for non-gamers. Simpler, lighter weight games for gamers and non-gamers in the market. Try before you buy it. Very interesting action mechanism. Production of the box could have been bigger. So, yeah, I guess not too terribly many ratings. I have a feeling we're going to see more of this, though. And I think it's too early to call any spot where this is going to land. So number 4, Bamboo. Number 3, Earth. So let me talk about Earth. This game is actually, it got phenomenal reviews from the Dice Tower, which originally I had kind of discounted it. It was showing up on the hotness list on BGG. But the look of the game is really good. I think the artwork on the cards, like the realistic photos with a clean presentation, looks amazing. I think the iconography, though, is... I would say it's not as clear as I think I would have liked it to be. You know, I've played the game a number of times now, and I feel like I still sometimes have to refer back or you know, on Board Game Arena, I use the question mark to understand what a card does because it's not obvious to me. And I've played a lot of games. I guess some of the icons look too close to, at least to me, look too similar. So it's not clear to me like what's going to happen with that icon. And I could see a lot of people getting confused about it. Now, I think in person, the presentations are going to look really good on this game. But I think the game is going to play best online, like on a Board Game Arena where it's going to enforce all the rules and actually remind you to take all the actions that are possible in the right order and make sure that everyone's following, you know, the rules, which aren't super complicated, but it does require like a very diligent attitude towards doing everything that you need to do. And it would be very easy to mess up, I think, with just one minor rule in here. And even some of the cards, like if they didn't have the extra explanation on there, I'm pretty sure we would have played them wrong in some cases in real life. As far as the game itself, I think it's a very solid game. I tend to agree that it's probably not a, there's my rating, 7.5. I don't feel like it's an 8 or a 9. I also don't feel like it's lower than that. And, you know, I guess this may be even a better summary. The pros, the action selection means there's a little downtime game, which is actually great. It's very, I like the simultaneous play. That's probably my favorite thing about the whole game. Cons, no player interaction. I don't know. I don't mind player interaction. I think you're kind of competing over these central objectives, which is maybe my favorite type of player interaction in a game, where you have, you know, shared objectives like terraforming Mars style, etc. The part that I didn't like about it, actually, the biggest downside is the same problem I have with Ark Nova. you're drawing cards out of a central deck, and those cards, I feel like the cards that you get determine your fate. Now, you can mitigate that by drawing more cards, but I play games where I've drawn tons of cards, and I just don't get the synergies that I need. Like, I end up with the wrong cards at the wrong time. And, you know, I guess it could be mitigated by having a more complex deck construction mechanism. Like, you have your kind of early game cards in the top half of the deck, or maybe you only have starting cards that you deal out at the beginning. Maybe that's how you fix it, and you only have like good starting engine builders to start off with, and then the rest of the cards are in the deck. I don't know, but I gave it a 7.5. I think it's going to do well. I think it has potential for a top 100. So, you know, it's getting like mid to high sevens. I think it has potential to get up there, especially since it's on Board Game Arena and people are able to try it out and find out if they like it, which I think incentivizes people to buy the game that really like a game. We'll have to see in the coming weeks. Maybe once we get to 2,000 ratings, we'll see if it's kind of leaning towards the 8s or if it's going to be down in the 7s. So that's number 3, Earth. Number 2, Distilled. So I think this was a Kickstarter game from a while back. Yeah, Kickstarter game from a long time ago. And I looked at this game and I thought, man, that looks cool, but is it going to be a good game? Like, there's a lot of, I guess you end up with this, like a lot of, I think these are cards with text on them. A lot of stuff going on. And also the whole distilling theme didn't really appeal to me too much. I know it appeals to a lot of folks. 2.87 complexity rating. So it's right in the sweet spot, I feel like, for, you know, medium heavy Euros. And, well, I guess more medium Euros. Let's see how the reviews are. Yeah. So it's kind of a slow start. I think probably people that really like this really liked the theme and wanted a distilling game that's also a Euro. We'll have to see in time how this does. I'm assuming there'll be a retail release, and we'll get a better feel of how it's doing at that point. So number 2, Distilled. And number 1, Star Wars deck building game, which I assumed was on here last week, but obviously I didn't have a video. So this is the Star Wars deck building game. Actually, I don't even know this designer. Oh, he did Marvel Champions. Okay. And Lord of the Rings card game. And a bunch of other stuff. So I guess he's done a lot of really popular card games. And this one looks to be in the same vein of it. I feel like they should have done a Star Wars deck building game like this a long time ago. Two players, Rebels and Empire going head to head. Pretty much standard Star Wars stuff. Same sort of Fantasy Flight, you know, artwork and style. It's Star Wars. It's a deck building game. I'm pretty sure this is going to do extremely well. It's not that heavy of weight, so assuming this comes to like Target, it's probably going to sell a lot of copies. Just because it's Star Wars and it's, you know, deck building. Do I think this is going to be a top 100 game? I don't know. Sweet 1v1 deck builder that plays nice for the general format. Good options to change game length and complexity. So it plays a lot like Star Realms. Same as Star Realms. So I guess if you like Star Realms, you would probably like this game. And I'm guessing that, you know, I know Star Realms is one of the better deck builders out there, so I think it's a good thing to be compared to that. So we'll see. I mean, I think it's got a good start. I think we need to wait a little bit to see if this is going to be the top 100, but I think it has potential. So that's number 1 for this week. Again, if you like this video, please like and please subscribe, and please take a look at our other videos.